The NFL used to be a violent game which was marked by hard-hitting linebackers like Dick Butkus. Tommy Nobis was also one of those linebackers. Hall of Fame running back Larry Csonka once said that he'd rather face Butkus than Nobis. Quote, Nobis doesn't get wild-eyed like Butkus. He keeps a coldness about him, and if you don't watch out, he'll put you out of the game. 49ers standout running back Ken Willard agreed. Playboy magazine published an article that named Butkus as the toughest linebacker in the game. Willard read the article and wrote a letter to Playboy that said, quote, when you get around to doing a story on the best linebacker in professional football, may I suggest Tommy Nobis? Tommy Nobis is a University of Texas legend. From 1963 through 1965, he averaged nearly 20 tackles per game. In 1963, he played both offense and defense as Texas defeated number 2 ranked Navy, and their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Roger Staubach 28-6 in the Cotton Bowl on January 1st, 1964. In 1964, Nobis was named All-Conference at both guard and linebacker. On January 1st, 1965, Texas defeated Alabama with Joe Namath at quarterback 21-17 in the Orange Bowl game. In 1965, he won the Outland Trophy and the Maxwell Award, which was given to the best all-around college football player. He was drafted by the American Football League Houston Oilers with the 5th overall pick and by the National Football League Atlanta Falcons with the 1st overall selection. Astronaut Frank Borman was a big Oilers fan. His sons were ball boys for the team. He was a command pilot aboard Gemini 7 that orbited the Earth on a 14-day mission. At the 2 million mile marker from Earth, he spoke with the Space Command Center and said, "Tell Nobis to sign with Houston." 1 week later, however, Nobis signed with Atlanta. In 1966, the Falcons' inaugural season, their defense surrendered the second most points in the NFL, but Nobis was a tackling machine. He had an amazing 296 combined tackles, an unheard of amount in any era. He made the NFL All-Star game each of his first 3 years in the league, despite missing 9 games in 1969 due to damaged cartilage in his right knee that required surgery. In 1969 and 1971, he only played a total of 9 games due to injury, which were the only seasons that he did not lead the team in tackles. In 1968, the Falcons defense added 3rd overall draft pick Claude Humphrey to add a lot of punch at left defensive end. He won the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. On July 7, 1969, the Rams traded wide receiver Harold Jackson and defensive end John Zook to the Eagles for running back Israel Lang. Later that day, John Zook was involved in a trade to the Falcons for linebacker Jim Purnell. The additions of these fine defensive ends, who combined for 19.5 sacks in 1969, helped to push the Falcons' defense into respectability. They finished with the 6th least points scored. Former quarterback great Norm Van Brocklin was the Falcons head coach in 1969 and entered the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a player in 1971. He was once quoted by the media as saying, "That's where the team dresses," as he pointed to Nobis's locker in a tribute to Nobis's immense value to the team. In 11 seasons with Atlanta, he led the team in tackles 9 times. In 1969 and 1971, he only played a total of 9 games due to injury, which were the only seasons that he did not lead the team in tackles. In Week 1 of the 1970 season at Tulane Stadium in New Orleans, beautiful 82-degree weather and cheerleaders awaited the 3-point favored Falcons. Nobis picked off a Billy Kilmer pass, the Falcons allowed only 9 first downs, and Atlanta beat New Orleans 14-3 for their second straight season-opening win. In Week 14, the Falcons' season thankfully came to a conclusion after a 37-7 loss to the Vikings, and this 1971 Week 2 game was a moral victory, even though it was only a 20-20 tie against the Rams. In Week 4 against the Cardinals, Nobis suffered his second major knee injury and missed the rest of the season. In 1972, Nobis came back to play inspired football. His 29-yard interception return for a touchdown was an exclamation point in the stunning 31-3 upset victory over the Rams. He made the Pro Bowl team again and matched career highs in interceptions and fumble recoveries. In Week 12, the Falcons beat the Oilers 20-10 and ran their record to 7-5. They ended up with the 7-7 mark. Nobis never played for a playoff team. In Week 6 of the 1973 season, Atlanta shut out San Diego 41-0 and allowed only 177 yards of offense. With 54 seconds remaining and Atlanta down 14-12, Nick Mickemeyer booted a 16-yard field goal that provided the winning margin of victory. This was only Atlanta's second win against LA in 15 games and was their first 4-game winning streak in their 8-year history. The Falcons sported a 8-win, 3-loss record going into Week 12's tilt against the Bills. Not too many defenders were able to get 2 attempted tackles on O.J. Simpson in 1973 when he ran for a record 2,003 yards, but Nobis did on this play. O.J. gained 137 yards on the day, but in 6 weeks during the season, he rushed for even more. Nobis weighed 240 pounds, and Jim Braxton weighed every bit of that. They finished the season with a 9-5 record, but when they started the 1974 season with a 2-6 record, Van Brocklin was fired. Team management canned him after a 42-7 loss to Miami, after which he challenged reporters to a fight. Marion Campbell was the team's defensive coordinator, took over, and finished the season as head coach with a 1-5 mark. On December 7th in Minnesota, Nobis let this interception get away. While he didn't have the greatest hands, he only had 12 interceptions in 11 years, his main job was to hit hard and often. In Week 14 at Atlanta, only 10,020 fans showed up. The Falcons set a single-game NFL record with 48,830 no-shows. Nobis is a member of the Hall of Fame All-1960s team. Nobis is one of only 4 defensive players on this Hall of Fame All-1960s team that are not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Here are the others. In 1967, he made first-team All-Pro as he beat out future Hall of Fame middle linebackers Dick Butkus, Ray Nitschke, and Sam Huff for the honor. In 1968, he was named second-team All-Pro as the first-team honor went to Butkus. Butkus and the following middle linebackers from Nobis' era are, I think, one of the reasons for his omission to the Hall of Fame. His pedigree is lacking due to the high quality of competition for All-Pro designations. It also doesn't help that he never played with a playoff team or that he only played on 2 winning teams. His lack of big-name recognition is yet another reason. Atlanta was not a pro football hotbed when he played. Regardless, I think that he stacks up extremely well to the top players featured in this video.